enjoy the show, play on Perjangers.
Here we are, Wallhangers. New little podcast wanted to do. Call it Mattcast Rants. Just a podcast of me. Wanted to talk to all you Wallhangers just about some stuff that's been popping across my radar here. More podcasts and stuff coming along the lines in the future. But some anime stuff that I wanted to talk about, some stories that I found. We're calling it Mattcast, just a little informal talk with me. Pop on the network from time to time, just so stuff keeps flowing out there. Entertainment, show must go on and all. So I got some stuff that I want to talk about first, which is, we'll do the top news. Top news stories that I have found. And I'm going to start off with this one, which I just found. Pop this up here. Found this on IFL Science. It's not behind a paywall now, which is actually very helpful. Last time I looked on here for some silly little podcast news, it was just kind of behind a paywall, and they wanted me to do that. And, I like talking about their articles. They're really well written. So this one I found very interesting. Alcohol and dementia risk. There is no safe level of drinking. My God. Thank God I quit drinking at the right time. No alcohol here. October to January, alcohol free for me. And it looks like it's in right time because drinking alcohol, even in small amounts, likely increases dementia risk. That is the conclusion of a huge new study based on the data of over 500,000 people. And people who love statistics like Big Brother love big numbers like that because within 500,000 people, you could really get a good overall basis, albeit that, it's diverse enough. So previous research based on observational studies hint that light drinking may have protective effect on the brain. Some have suggested that there may even be a optimal dose of alcohol for a healthy brain, according to this latest work, which is the largest combined observational and genetic study to date. They went into the genes with this one. It concludes, probably no safe level of drinking. Dementia risk rises in direct proportion to alcohol consumed. So, more you drink, more of a risk for dementia, which is an interesting little study that I saw here. To come to these conclusions, the researchers use a mix of observational data and genetic methods based on two large databases, the U.S. Million Veteran Program, MVP, and the UK Biobank, UKB. The former includes people of European, African, and Latin American ancestry, while the latter is made up of people with predominantly European ancestry. In total, almost 560,000 participants between the ages of 56 and 72 were enrolled at the start of the study and monitored until their first dementia diagnosis, death, or the date of last follow-up, December 2019 for the MVP and January 2022 for the UKB. Whichever came first, this equated to an average monitoring period of 4 years for MVP and 12 for UKB. So during the monitoring period, 14,540 of the participants developed dementia, while 48,034 died. Their alcohol consumption was derived from the questionnaire response. Over 90% said they drank alcohol. The alcohol use disorder identification test, audit C, a clinical tool that screens for hazardous drinking patterns. So a lot went into that. And, overall, it was, a glass of red wine a day they said was good. Now they're saying probably good to just stay away from alcohol there. So I thought that was an interesting little study. I found that on IFL Science. And then some other stuff in the top news that I did see here. I'll start off with this one because this one was like breaking right as I was trying to do Mattcast here. This one popped up. The bubble tea that everybody loves. Turns out Consumer Reports testing found lead in the boba pearls of the bubble tea, and even in the liquid portion of some drinks. The kavasa root used to make the boba can absorb lead from the soil. The lead can also come from ingredients, water, or equipment. While the detected levels weren't high enough to warrant a complete ban, experts advise consuming bubble tea in moderation, especially for children, pregnant individuals who are more vulnerable to lead's harmful effects. The boba pearls made of we'll get this, guys. Cassava root. There we go. Which can absorb lead from the soil where it's grown. So all depending on where it's grown, everybody loves that bubble tea, huh? You like lead? Because you're drinking lead. You know, I like to put a little poop in your soup there for that one. But, you know, I mean, bubble tea with lead, if you drink a lot of it, obviously after this, it says consume it in moderation. You got a bubble tea once in a while just to, you know, maybe you got a good grade on your report card. Fine, but don't go to that place every day. Moderation is the key. So those are two of the big ones that I saw, that if you are drinking bubble tea or alcohol and you don't want to have dementia or lead poisoning later on in life, who knows? Maybe avoid those two things. That would be cool. One thing you can't avoid is all the weird stories that come out that you'll see on your feed here. And I saw one that I just kind of read the headline for it, which was Bananas in Pajamas kidnapped by the mafia. And I thought, oh my God, what the hell happened here to the Bananas in Pajamas guys? What must have got on rough times? No. So the story of Bananas in Pajamas costumes being kidnapped by the Russian mafia is a widely circulated rumor, confirmed by actor Kenneth Radley, who played B1, that the original B1 and B2 costumes were stolen in Moscow during a promotional tour in the 1990s. A ransom note demanding 100,000 Australian dollars was received by ABC's head of marketing, and that's the Australian broadcast company. Wonder if they ever got in trouble for that. It's the name of their company. It's not like you can get in trouble for an anagram. But the ransom note demanded $100,000, but ABC offered them only $20,000 to replace it. Marketing head, Grummy Gaspy, sure. Mr. or Miss Gaspy was supposed to make the exchange, but ultimately fled to the airport with the $20,000, and the costumes were never recovered. Maybe, okay, they're just assuming that this guy, Gaspy, just stole the money, right? But he really went to the meeting spot. The Russians were like, are you kidding me? I said 100,000, and they just offed him, Now you think he took the money. This guy really just trying to do his duty, getting these Bananas in Pajamas costumes back. I mean, they said 100,000. Like, what did you think was going to happen with the Russian mob? I mean, you think you could bargain with the Russian mob for some Bananas in Pajamas costumes? So 20,000 to replace them. I mean, maybe somebody got some money out of that. But the story was confirmed by Kenneth Radley, the actor who played B1, learned the details from Gaspy. So he heard from, so obviously he wasn't offed if he heard the details of it. So there goes my whole Russian mob hit idea. See, fake news right there. Just turns out, somebody stole them, and they didn't want to pay the ransom. Nobody ever wants to pay ransoms, That's always the story. You never want to pay ransoms. So those are your top news stories for you that I just found out there. A little bit of Mattcast. Anime. I'm obviously a big anime fan. Crunchyroll, Hulu, they all have a lot of really good anime for people to go out there and watch. And the two I want to talk about are in the new season because we're getting into a new season of anime. One, obviously, everybody's watching My Hero Academia. That first season of the new, first episode, rather, of the new season just hit, and it's subtitled only. I trudged through it, but it was an All Might episode, and it was actually pretty entertaining to see that one go through its final season. Cumulatively, everybody's been so invested in My Hero Academia since it came out. This has been one of the hottest animes to hit the scene there. And even still, the Candy Queen, First Lady of Perjangers, Jillian, is also going through My Hero Academia with me. And, it's nice. Once you get that final arc, that complete rung of the story, Dr. Stone's another one that is finished up, about to finish up, maybe like one episode. I don't know, is the Suika arc they were ending off and just saying goodbye to that one. Awesome sauce. When you have an anime that has a full arc, a wide arc, all points that it wants to hit, and then it just signs off, that's fine, because you get the thing that My Hero did with Vigilantes. A nice side, spin-off story. That one is set ahead of the events, or in the past of the events of My Hero Academia. So that's a good one for your My Hero fix if you haven't checked that one out. But My Hero Academia ending off strong, I think, with All for One and, All Might really coming to heads in this first episode. And you get to see the Iron Man suit that All Might was wearing, inspired by all the students that he's had, right? So hits you in the feels. Awesome episode there. Another anime that came back, Campfire Cooking, Season 2. Read my little notes as I'm watching this episode. Feels like a slice of life isekai anime with the power of Amazon online shopping. So if you're not familiar with this one, it's an isekai, so reincarnated into another world. But this time, you get to keep your Amazon account and order anything you need. So this guy's a cook. One of them cooking animes. It's a nice little slice of life. You get to see, oh, that's how they make that, And it's interesting, to say the least. Main character was joined by a wolf and a slime in his party, but this time we get a little red dragon action. So it's a nice building episode for that one. The slime and the dragon they all have that telekinesis to talk to the guy. So it's a fun little anime that's good for all ages. So if you have somebody, you'll like the art style and the voice acting. The season overall does set up a nice little story arc there for the second season. I thought it was a good enough one for the first one. Whenever you have it set up a good hero time. It set up enough for the good first season. It set up enough. It's not bad. It's just whenever you get to those slice of lives, you're not going to get a lot of the real big action that you get into some of the animes, even like My Hero Academia, but it's still good. One that I'm not even sure if it's done their season yet, but I'm going to see if I can get this right. Gachikuta. Sure. But Gachikuta is one of the newer ones. Let me see if I can find it. But one of the newer ones that has hit the anime scene this year. In a floating city where the rich is... let me move my head over here. There we go. In a floating city where the rich discard their waste and people, Rudo, is famed for murder and thrown into the pit where a hellscape of mutated trash beasts dwell. To survive, he must wield a new power and join the cleaners. Rudo doesn't just aim to battle monsters, but the corrupt who cast him into hell. Really, really interesting concept. The world is essentially covered in trash, and then you have these people who live in the high city. They cast Rudo down there because he got framed for murder, and he has to make his way. These kind of like, not blood powers, but kind of magic gloves that he has. He meets different people with different magic, weapons to help them with the trash beasts and stuff. It's an interesting anime, especially because it doesn't tiptoe around. It's got harder themes in it, especially the episode they just had was this woman's essentially mind is gone, but she has this way of she got raped, and she has this way of going about it to where it's almost Deadpool-like, to where she's just imagining running around and having fun in a bed of flowers and stuff, and it's drawn like a little kid did it. So very interesting how they execute it, but just this whole anime, all the themes and stuff, like he's framed for murder and they throw him into a pit. That kind of medieval style punishment in this world is very interesting, is on top of the magic. It's an anime. So very good and very interesting storylines in this first season for it. So it's coming out of the gate strong with Gaichia Kuta. I think that's what it's called. But that's what I got for a short little Matt Plays. You got bananas and pajamas costumes. Did you find lead in your bubble tea? Consult a attorney, not me. But you heard it from me first. We want everybody to go out and check out Lugnuts Podcast. We have just added in some interviews that we did from the Unity Day car show that happened in Philadelphia over on Broad Street. So I want to make sure that everybody goes and checks out those interviews. We got to talk to a lot of people with their passion projects, their cars, amazing, amazing stuff. And we still have more interviews coming out in future Lugnuts podcasts. So make sure you go over to our Facebook site, facebook.com/Lugnuts podcast, to see all the luggy and nutty stuff over there, or on our website of pjandwh.com and our YouTube site. Just type in Perjangers and you'll find all of our luggy and nutty stuff. We also have Tales of the Hunted out there. Our last interview and all of our interviews in the past are up there in a nice playlist. You can see all of the latest and greatest indie content creators, especially comics. You'll find them up there. Still trying to schedule out with Michael, Inevitable Mike, for another silly little podcast. We'll be coming out with that, with a whole bunch of more news articles that we see in the news there and talk about them in fun detail. And then, of course, Sex Ed and everything in between will be coming with Brianna and Jillian. And who knows, we might even get into another spoiler alert with the First Lady and myself. But lots of stuff going on. Event-wise, we have a holistic, like a health and holistic expo. It's happening in Plymouth Meeting in November. We'll get that information out on social media and the website for you guys to come out. Perjanger treats a little bit of a healthy kick this time, throwing a curveball at you guys so that you didn't expect to have a healthy food from a treat company, huh? Well, we're going to keep you on your toes with a lot of stuff that's happening with Perjangers Treats. We were just at the Plymouth Meeting Autumn Festival. That was amazing. First time we had a nice table in the Plymouth Meeting Mall. Took pictures. Awesome pictures, too, because I got second story shots from everybody, day one and day two. We had a great turnout for Perjangers that day, so wanted to thank everybody coming out, buying treats, and we'll see you there, where there's also another event in December we're looking at, so we're going to be doing a lot of events here, so you can come out and see us and help support the podcast company and treat company so that we can keep producing amazing content for you, even if it's just me sitting in front of a mic, listing out some awesome stuff I watched as well. But if you guys have any comments or suggestions for reviews or anything, any kind of content for the network, make sure you go ahead and comment below or email us at pjandwh@gmail.com. And yeah, that's about it for me. We'll see if this becomes a weekly stuff or monthly thing. Content coming out to you guys and more news on the way. So I always try to end these things off the same way, is that I love you, I miss you, and I can't wait to see you next time. Until then, game on, boys and girls. Bye-bye.
Bye.